Today we're going to be looking at one of the most chilling cold cases I've ever come across. It's about the disappearance of a 12-year-old girl from a town that thought it was completely safe. This is the story of the Millford vanishing.
Just think about that for a second. It is every parent's absolute worst nightmare. And for one family in Ohio, this wasn't a nightmare. It was their reality. This one question, it's really at the heart of a mystery that just completely shattered a community and left investigators, with way more questions than answers.
Okay, so to really get a grip on just how shocking this was, you first have to understand the place where it all went down. We're talking about a town that felt like it was completely immune to this kind of tragedy.
Picture this, Millford, Ohio. It's the classic small American town, right? Population of just 8,000 people. It's the kind of place built on trust, where everybody knows their neighbors and kids can just play outside without a care in the world. And it's that exact sense of security that makes what happened next so unthinkable.
So this is Emily Hayes, just a bright, happy 12-year-old kid. She was a great student, getting straight A's, a star on her soccer team, and really a creature of habit. Her walk home from school, it was the same thing every single day. A routine that felt completely, totally safe.
All right, let's walk through the timeline of that afternoon, because it's crucial. At 3:15 p.m., everything is normal. It's just another school day. Her mom waves goodbye. But less than an hour later, by 4 p.m., that feeling of dread starts to creep in. Something is clearly wrong. That routine is broken. Then, by 6 p.m., the search turns up the first, and it turns out the only piece of visual evidence they would ever find.
It's just this grainy footage from a neighbor's security camera, but it captures everything. You see Emily walking, just like any other day. And then this vehicle, a black Ford Econoline van, it just pulls right up beside her. A gloved hand reaches out. The video shows she hesitates for just a second, and then she gets in. The van just speeds off, and just like that, Emily Hayes is gone.
So, they have the abduction on camera. You'd think that would be the key, right? But the investigation that followed? Well, it was like trying to put together a puzzle when you know most of the pieces are just gone. So, let's take a look at the few tiny clues investigators actually had to work with.
And this is where things get really, really strange, because the clues just don't seem to add up. Okay, so the van, total dead end. It was a rental from Columbus, hired with a fake ID, and returned completely wiped clean. Then there's this text message sent to a burner phone. Meet me after school, surprise. That suggests this was planned, right? Not just some random attack. They find her hair clip about 10 miles away, and the fibers on it match the van's seats, so we know she was in there. But then you look at her diary, and there's this entry about a man in the blue truck who'd been watching her. A blue truck, not a black van. So what is that? An unrelated fear? Or is it all part of some bigger, way more confusing picture?
So you've got all these pieces that just don't fit together. A rental van, a secret text, a hair clip, a diary entry about a different vehicle. So where did this trail of clues actually lead? What did the police and the FBI figure out?
The answer is just devastating. Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. They got over 300 tips pouring into the hotline, and every single one of them led to a dead end. The trail just went cold, right at the county line. It was like the kidnapper and the van had vanished just as completely as Emily had. And when you have a vacuum like that, no evidence, no answers, something else rushes in to fill it. And in this case, it was suspicion. It started to grow and just fracture that once tight-knit community. 3 main theories started to take hold. And honestly, each one is more disturbing than the last.
So let's break these down, because you can see how they just tore the town apart. First, you have the stranger theory. This fits the classic terrifying abduction story. But why the personal text message? That doesn't feel random. Then the whispers turned inward, toward the family. There were rumors about her dad having an affair, talk of a weird uncle, but Emily's mother passed a polygraph test, which is a pretty big deal. And finally, you have the community theory. This one focused on a powerful local mill owner who had a history of abuse, and there was even a leaked report about witness tampering. But that raises a huge question. In a town of only 8,000 people, could a conspiracy that big really be kept silent? And that actually leads us to this absolutely chilling assessment from the FBI. Their behavioral analysis unit, the profilers. They concluded the person who did this wasn't a total stranger. Their report said the person was opportunistic with insider knowledge. Think about that. Someone who knew Emily's routine, knew who she might trust, and knew exactly how to exploit that trust.
So here we are, years later. The investigation is frozen.
The case file is just gathering dust on a shelf somewhere. But for the people of Millford, that wound has never, ever healed. The impact of that day has been profound, and it's been permanent.
You can still see Emily's face on billboards across the state. And that reward for information, it's now up to $250,000. It's a testament to a family's desperate, unending hope that someday, someone will come forward with an answer.
Yeah, Milford is not the same place. It's no longer the town where people leave their doors unlocked. A shadow just hangs over everything. The annual town fair, this is a tradition for generations. It was canceled the year Emily disappeared, and it has never come back. It's like a permanent scar on the heart of that community.
And so, we're left with the exact same question they've been asking themselves in Milford for years. After all this time, who took Emily Hayes?
And here's the most terrifying reality of all. The key to solving this whole thing might not be some faceless monster hundreds of miles away. It might be with someone who was there all along, a stranger who just blended in perfectly, a secret hidden within her own family, or a conspiracy of silence upheld by the very town that she called home.